Are you really gonna smell like that before we start?
It's also no bonfire makes it way less cozy.
Yeah, but we had stuttering issues with the last episode.
Did we?
How
come?
Because my computer can't handle running 2 videos at the same time. That's why.
You don't plan on ever upgrading your computer?
I do, but it costs money.
Joey Beast showing up with that stimmy. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't remember who said this, but it was like a great comedian, like a Louis or a Chris Rock. They said if you're not funny, at least try to be interesting.
Or Ari Shaffir. Like, you need to be funny, but at the least you have to be interesting. And what's great about doing this podcast with you is that we're neither of those. We're not interesting. We're not funny. We just keep rolling out. Speak for yourself.
Okay, have something interesting to say. Go ahead.
I don't have to say anything. I'm just an interesting person.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you, on the other hand.
Go ahead. Give me some of your interesting takes.
Interesting takes?
On this funny podcast we have.
I mean, I could go on a misogynistic rant for an hour.
And if you...
And everybody would be like, James.
And when you start to slow down, I'll start throwing out some racist rants. I don't care.
Yeah.
We can double down, baby.
Yeah.
That's just what we do.
It's annoying, though, because you don't realize...
Turn my snare up a little bit. I can't hear myself. Not how loud I am, just the sound of them.
Yes, I know.
There you go.
It's crazy that you said racist, though. You don't realize what's the new ins. Like, you've been you're too detached from reality. You don't realize the cool things anymore.
Okay. Racism is
anti-Semitism.
Okay. Yep.
You got to be anti-Semitic and you got to be misogynistic.
Amen,
if you want to fit in these crowds, you really got to fit in.
After the Myers-Leonard thing?
Yeah. I mean, not only that, I just saw Ben Shapiro, which I take everything that he says with a grain of salt.
Okay.
But I saw him go on about it. And I guess everybody in the NBA is just anti-Semitic.
What did Ben say? Did he say something about it?
Well, because everybody was like, remember, I forgot who it was, like quoted Mein Kampf like last year. Remember that?
Yeah, he was like, real good stuff in here.
Yeah, and then like Steven Jackson and J.R. Smith were like, hell yeah.
It wasn't Mein Kampf that he quoted, but it was like a known...
It was an Adolf Hitler quote.
It was an Adolf Hitler quote.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And if people might not know this about Hitler, but one of his like lesser known traits is that he's anti-Semitic.
Yeah, it's actually like a little less known thing about him. He doesn't just have a funny mustache.
A great mechanic, great mustache, revolutionary in pretty much the entire artistic.
Pretty good painter.
Yeah.
Knew how to write a
fashion
book.
Design.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Good speaker.
Yes.
Also major racist.
Also in their anti-Semitic,
hateful. Yeah, it actually gets brushed under the rug a lot.
It does.
Him and Walt Disney.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People want to talk about all the great stuff they do.
Yeah.
Both anti-Semitic.
Yes.
They forget about it.
They do forget about that quite often.
Mm-hmm. Right, like last year when the anti-Semitic stuff started happening, it was a lot of stuff like where people would say crazy shit about Jews.
Yes.
And then you have like a wave of like hate, and people will be like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" And then they're like, "Right, we're not hateful, but like the Jews do control everything." Like they would say it like that,
yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, so you don't see the point at all? Like you don't see what?"
That's like making a bunch of like jokes about like, "Oh, Chinese people have weird eyes," and then somebody's like, "That's not cool." They do not drive very well.
Right.
Like they just throw in like a stereotype or something.
You're like, okay, so you missed the whole point.
So everything that you heard just went over your head. You're just going to add fuel to this fire. Yeah, because LeBron James also did something like that. And Dwayne Wade, I believe. I think that they said something along the lines of what you said, where they're like, yeah, that's not cool. But Jewish people do own all the banks or something like. I think that was.
I don't think it was LeBron, but LeBron did have a really bad take this year about when people were rightfully protesting in Hong Kong because China was taking control over that. In Hong Kong,
I guess he did have a take on that. That's what Ben Shapiro said.
Did he have a take on the...
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, Ben Shapiro said it.
Yeah.
And you know me. When I hear things, should I investigate? Yes. Do I?
No.
Nope.
Well, yeah, we'll spread it around.
Face value.
To our many fans.
I take everything at face value.
Okay, fuck it.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
That's why I didn't know about like the Hitler being anti-Semitic thing.
I know. We just took him for like a great writer, great artist, designer.
Created amazing cars. Great cars. One of the best highways of all time.
Yeah, great tanks.
Yes.
Did they have the best tanks?
I don't know.
I can't remember. God, we got to get a historian on this podcast.
Yeah. But was anti-Semitic. Very, very hateful towards them. And he should be canceled. I don't think that's the worst part is that not enough people are canceling.
We should cancel Hitler.
Yeah, not enough people are canceling Hitler. Do you think that
I was actually thinking about this today about how I was thinking about Hitler
That's
today.
A funny idea.
About thinking about Hitler today?
No, just like it's a skit where like we cancel people that are just like already canceled, like Hitler, Stalin, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Let's cancel fucking Joseph Kony.
Why does Jeffrey Dahmer get so much praise? He raped people. Did you guys not know this?
That's not bad.
Yeah.
A lot of talk about Louis. A lot of talk about Chris. What about this Hitler guy?
What about this Hitler guy? You guys don't want to cancel him?
But it's just kids who don't want to learn about shit in history.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I like that. I like the idea of that. Yeah, I mean, we got a helpful tip this week about the podcast. So I'd like to talk about David Dobrik and H3 for a minute.
Yeah, I agree. I also didn't want to talk about it in that episode. Well, hey, let's not even have like a 3-minute about not talking about it.
No.
Next.
Yeah, we can talk about other things.
Mm-hmm. You first. What do you got?
I did realize this, that I'm a person where if you want me to not talk about something, it has to not be brought up, like at all.
Okay.
Or like,
why could you just
I can't even be told like, hey, don't talk about this, because then I just like it sticks out in my mind. Like I probably wouldn't even talk about it if it wasn't like brought up in my mind, because like I would have forgot already, unless I watched TikTok right before that has it on it. But like recently for World of Warcraft, for example, I was told we were like doing interviews with people in the guild, and they were like, hey, don't talk about their damage, talk about their mechanics, which is just like, you know, how you react to like different things in the game. And immediately in the interviews, I just kept on bringing up damage, and I never thought about like that prior to being told that.
Wait, I'm sorry. What was this for?
For World of Warcraft.
When like talking about the game?
Yes.
You did that on a podcast?
No, we were doing interviews with like our players, because I'm an officer now.
Oh, okay.
In the guild, so we like did like.
What was the point of it? What's the point of the interviews?
Pretty much just like a review of the week, like how you got like we were like, hey, how do you think you did? This and that, you know. But we've been trying to focus more on like, hey, people play mechanically better. Don't die to stupid stuff. Worry about damage later, because damage is like cool and all.
I mean, as long as you get the mechanics down.
Yeah, and like you don't. It's fine, because
like you don't. It doesn't really matter how much weight you can lift. Is if you lift shittily, you're gonna get hurt.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
that's exactly it. And then I wasn't even like worried about it before, and then they said that, and I was like, every single time that I talked to a new person, brought up damage right away. So like I've realized, if you don't want me to talk about something, I have like too much of a fixation on things.
Yeah.
So if you bring it up, just immediately fixated.
I do that too to a certain extent, but I don't know. I don't find it like, let's say I go into something that's you definitely.
I don't think that drinking with ice is a good idea.
No, it isn't. Yeah, I hear it. Yeah. It's loud. I think I have the similar issue. If let's say I'm in the flow of a conversation, something is brought up that shouldn't be talked about.
Yes.
I won't recognize in the moment that it shouldn't be talked about. And the fact that people are avoiding it will make me want to prod at it more.
Yeah.
But if I'm told beforehand,
like say some like random thing, like somebody, hey, these people just got a divorce. Not supposed to bring it.
Yeah, you're right.
You'll make the guy sad.
Right. Yeah. Well, if I get told before to not bring up the divorce,
yes,
I won't. But if the divorce gets brought up to my front right there, I will just like attack this man's divorce and why she left him.
Yes.
And
why'd she leave you? Is it because you were tiny little shrimp cock?
I won't say it like that, but I'll ask.
No, you will say it like that.
No, I wouldn't insult him. I would ask.
You would.
No, it wouldn't be insulting because I was trying to be insulting. I was trying to find out if he has a shrimp cock.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with me thinking he does.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if she thinks that.
Yeah.
You have to. What you did was an attack. mine might come off sounding like an attack, but it's really just trying to get to the root of the issue.
You think that I attack people?
Sure.
When?
I mean, you attacked me this. We were attacking each other for an hour and a half.
You made me so mad.
We were attacking each other. We got nowhere in conversation. My girlfriend just decided to leave.
I was so drunk during that conversation that I was forgetting like what we were arguing about as we were arguing about it.
Quick aside, we got Chick-fil-A ordered to the house. Normally you just get the little packets.
Yes.
We got the bottles were the size of hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
And you can just get bottles of Chick-fil-A sauce like that. Where you just have it on the side. You don't like Chick-fil-A sauce.
Which is useless, yeah. Because
but I mean, okay, what's a sauce that you like?
Any.
I mean, name a sauce from a reputable fast food place that you like. You're like, oh my God.
Cucumber sauce.
From
McDonald's.
What the fuck kind of fucking answer is that? I don't know, like...
You want me to say?
Okay.
You want me to say dolphin sauce? Is that what you want?
love McDonald's barbecue sauce. If you ask for barbecue sauce and they're like, what about like a 12-ounce bottle of barbecue sauce that you can always have McDonald's barbecue sauce on hand, you would love that.
No, I'd go, just give me the packets.
You'd rather just have the packets opposed to a bottle of sauce?
Yes. Because you know what I do when I'm done with my food that I order? Everything, sweep it up into the trash.
You'd much rather have packets of ketchup over a bottle of ketchup.
Oh, yeah.
That's not true. I saw you use ketchup bottles today.
I hate it.
Or this was just going to be a quick aside. I was just trying to tell the listeners, Chick-fil-A offers sauce packets.
Well, no, just don't assume things about me. That's the bigger point. I don't want jars of shit. You are not going to give me a jar of nothing. If I want packets...
You saw what the bottle was.
Yeah, I know.
There's no jars.
Yes, I know.
I don't have to scoop it out with my bare hands. It's a squeeze bottle.
All I'm saying is if I'm going in expecting a certain amount of sauce, I want just that amount of sauce. No more.
When I want sauce, I want sauce. And if I can get bottles of it, give me the bottles.
If you want bottles of sauce, go out to Pick and Save, go out to Walmart, buy your own sauce.
Do you remember the first argument that we had?
That Ryan Gosling's a good guy.
No.
Oh, the theatrical view.
No. Well, don't say Ryan Gosling's a good guy because that's the preference that we...
Sebastian's a good guy.
In the movie La La Land that came out in 2016 that lost to Moonlight.
Yes. Wrong.
Correct.
Fuck you, Grammys. You fucking suck.
Why don't you like Moonlight winning?
Should have got the Grammy. Huh? Because Emma Stone fucking... Her tiny little ass isn't in there.
And I agree with that.
Yes.
I was saying that he's a bad guy and he makes bad decisions, but he's not all bad. He makes like every now and then he makes a good decision. But at the core he makes really selfish choices.
Okay.
And you hated it and you were saying he's great. I love him.
No, I wasn't saying that he's great. I was just saying that like I think that he makes honest like lapse of judgment mistakes.
Yeah.
It's not like they may be selfish, but it's because he's seen it from his point of view.
This is already way more healthier than the arguments were before. Because what you just presented me was like an actual argument.
Yes.
Before, you were saying, no, you're wrong. You have that opinion because you watched a YouTube video.
Yes.
And you're stupid.
Because you kept on prefacing. Like, I was hammered, right? And you were prefacing it, like, with this, like, huge thought behind it. Like,
what does that mean?
Like, you had a whole argument presented for why this guy is a bad guy.
Okay.
So it's something that you had clearly, like, thought about prior.
Oh, me. Because I wasn't firing from the hip and because it was so thought out.
And
you're
I'm
like,
hammered.
There's no way that this idiot can come up with that big of an idea.
Let's also preface this.
Oh, that we were drinking for 12 hours before?
For 12 hours.
That means nothing.
I had drinking at least a bottle and a half of wine.
Did we get hammered? Did we kill 2 bottles of wine, Jameson, and then go to a child's birthday party?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. And then we had this conversation.
So
what I was trying to get at, but was not presenting it in a good way at all.
Yeah.
It just came off as a...
I hate women.
No, what do you remember, what's the movie with Alfalfa?
Alfalfa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Rascals.
Yeah,
you
little
know how they have the group in there, the Wee Man Womanator Club,
Okay.
which is just that's what it was coming off as, was just like, no, me man,
Yeah.
me hate women.
Yeah, it did come off like that. Yes.
Yes, the entire time. But what I am saying is that I don't think to judge I think that it's the light in which you see it, which is good because it shows like the vulnerability and like, just like sometimes relationships don't work out because like solely due to narrow-minded point of views, because you can only see things from your lens. As much as you try, and you have this issue too. I only use you as an example because I know you the best. Is sometimes
right
you,
now,
sometimes you
that's
make
a nice way of saying it, but you were using me as an example to put me down.
Yeah, I know. But
2 days ago, you were like, you're a better guy than him. You think you're better than him?
he is sexier than you.
You were like, you're a fucking piece of shit too. That guy's awesome. You're a fucking
And
dickhead.
but he's also better looking, so you're losing. But you also have lapse of judgments
Okay.
due to only being able to, because as much as you can empathize and sympathize with other people, in reality, everybody to their core is selfish.
Yeah. No.
But
Well,
me and you are not
are.
because they want to be,
Yeah.
but because from their point of view, this sounds right. This guy has to go and do this because it's
Not everybody's like that.
maybe not.
Let's say me and you.
Yes.
People like us.
Yes,
Okay.
normal,
Like regular people.
we have our flaws.
Sure.
We see things from our point of view. We try to look at it from like other people's point of views, and that lapse of judgment can make us make the wrong decision at times. And that's just the case. That's the way it is in relationships a lot, all the time. And I think that movie perfectly represents it, and it makes him seem like he's this selfish, terrible person. But I don't think that's the case. I think that he genuinely did want to like please that girl, but he just at times, saw things at face value. Like he saw, this is something that I have to do because it's my job, rather than going, hey, this is a minuscule thing to my job, whereas this is a large thing to her career. You know what I mean? Well, I shouldn't even say job, career for him as well, because it was career. Like his career was jazz music, her career was acting, right? Do you understand?
I know what you're saying, but I disagree that the reason why I disagree so much with it is at the end of the movie, you have the fantasy sequence where, let's say
He just does it all.
they make all the right choices,
Yes.
and they don't necessarily fulfill their like individual goals, where she's like a crazy amazing actress, or he has a club, but they grow and have a family, and they live like a more fulfilled life with each other, where you're like, you can have that life with like a relationship, or you can like try to live the dream.
I love that song in my life.
And I like that it shows you that, because it's basically saying like they did both kind of do the selfish choice. Obviously him a little bit more so.
Yeah.
But
Like I said, there is the whole point of the movie.
It showed you that he like definitively made choices to go off in this direction. And I was just saying, I think that makes him a bad person.
Why does that make him a bad person?
Because I think a lot of the choices that he made directly affected his relationship.
Did she have, but the very first thing that happens between the two of them, what happens?
He flips her off when he's driving by on the freeway.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the first interaction that they have with
He shoulder checks her as he's getting fired.
as he's getting fired, worried
Yeah.
about. So it's not like he goes in there
Yeah.
with this facade.
You're saying she knew what she was getting into, so she should be
No, she knew that he was
like a dickhead?
about himself. I mean, and it's not even being about himself. He was worried about his career. He thought that he was like doing stuff to further his career, which if that means sacrificing a woman, fuck it, dude.
That's fine, right? If he...
Why is that selfish though?
Well, no, hold on. If he wants to just do his career and fuck it, whatever, then why did he get in the relationship?
That's too hard. You can't say that.
I know, but I mean, it's you can like
Why did she get in the relationship?
because she wanted to like be with him.
Okay, and he wanted to be with her.
Yeah, but his choices were didn't really reflect it. Where I feel like her choices did. Like his choices were, he initially got the steady job because he thought, like he got the band. He was in the band because he thought that her family essentially thought he was a loser. So he got the steady paycheck, and he thought for her, right? At first, not a problem, but then Amazon just dropped off your package.
Oh, nice. I wanted to wear that for this.
Oh, too late.
Too late.
But then as he kept going, he kind of like loses track of everything. He just gets sucked into this whole new career because it's not even his dream. And he's not even doing it for her anymore because they have like money. And he's missing out on like big moments for her, like that whole play she's working towards that whole movie. Where for her, she's just being supportive for him from like start to finish, even when he's like an asshole from the beginning of the movie.
This just reminds me how you defend Seth. Let's bring it back to David Dobrik.
I don't think your point is completely wrong. I was just way more upset when we were arguing it because you were just attacking me.
Yes.
And you were attacking like my thought process. You were attacking that there's no way you could come up with these ideas on your own.
Yes.
At one point you said, "What's the video you saw this in? I will look it up right now and find it just so I can prove that this thought is in your own."
But the issue was I also had zero ambition to do anything else. Like that conversation already took so much of a toll out of me that it made me fall asleep through part of the movie.
So back in the conversation when you were using Little Rascals as an example, I've never seen Little Rascals.
Get the fuck out of here.
And I knew that was going to be your response. And earlier, how you were talking about if something gets brought up, you can't avoid it. I didn't bring up that I didn't see it because it was just going to completely derail the conversation.
I got a pickle. I got a pickle.
No reference.
I got a pickle. Hey, 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 hey.
Anybody listening, you can just see that's how his brain tracks. It just goes straight to the thing.
Yeah.
That's how easy it is. I
So
had to
easy.
stop myself to...
Yeah.
Or the whole conversation.
When you said that you telling me that the Amazon package almost flipped the switch. When I get set up, you know this. So we set up the whole podcast and we put down our mics where they're supposed to be, put on our headsets, blah, blah, blah. Get into position. David, when I usually get all set up and get my mic set up, it takes me a little bit quicker because he's got to do the camera and the computer. So I'm here. And he'll ask me to do things sometimes. I won't leave this position. Once I'm locked in, I'm locked in.
Yeah, there's little to any help.
Yes.
All he does is move the mixer from his
Okay,
phone.
we're not talking about help in general. Now you're just trying to be hurtful.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
I'm
sorry.
saying
I was trying to dig at you. You're right.
When I'm sitting down here, I'm locked in.
To you, man.
I don't need your sympathy. I'm a good roommate. I know that. I got you the beers.
I know you are, man.
Got you the beers.
I know.
Yeah. I also came on your sheets.
The second...
That's why I got you the beers.
The second argument that we had I think is the dumber argument of the two.
Yeah.
It is so dumb that I don't even think I want to present it because I don't think we're going to get to a healthy place of understanding here. Even though we are both arguing two different things.
So I drunk. So I'm
we
not presenting
We were
anything.
still watching La La Land.
La La Land had just come on.
Yeah.
And I go, I like this shot because, the black and the black, that means that it's a theatrical view. The black at the top, black at the bottom, that means that it's theatrical view. You go, that's not what that means.
Yeah.
It's just a little throwaway comment that means nothing.
Yeah.
Should have just, whatever. But you wanted me to explain more.
Yeah, I wanted to know. I wanted you to. I didn't know what that meant.
You know what it reminds me of? Have you seen this thing on TikTok where it says, clips that say the same? There are two different clips that say the same
give
thing.
off the same energy.
Yeah. It reminds me of this frenemies where he's got the fondue and she goes, Trisha says to H3, she goes, yeah, milk comes from cows. He goes, hold on. I want to know why you said that. So like that's pretty much what it was I said that, and for you just took that at face value. Where I see the black and black, that means
what you said.
Theatrical.
This is a view that theatrically, this is how it was viewed in the theaters.
Which, what it is, and I know this, it's the aspect ratios are the same. So therefore, when it goes onto your screen, it doesn't just like go corner to corner, because then it would.
We know that now, but I didn't know what you meant in the moment.
Yes. And I knew what it like, because when you there's two different options when it's not really an option anymore.
When back in the early 2000s, you would get a DVD. It's usually around the DVD era, because VHS pretty much were all full screen. Mm-hmm. They would you would start the VHS and it would say this video has been formatted to fit your screen, because there was no TVs back in the day that were like widescreen at this point.
Yes.
All of them were like the bubble TVs. They were square. They're CRT TVs.
Yeah.
So when it came to DVDs, it gave you the option: would you like to be full screen or theatrical?
Yes.
And that's what James was referring to when he pointed out the
and
black
pretty much
bars.
what I was meaning was like, I like that they just don't give you that option anymore.
Right. They just change it.
They just do it.
And I was like, I was angry because
you were angry
I thought,
already at the Ryan Gosling being a good guy.
So I thought when you said, I like it that it's theatrical.
Yes.
I thought you meant that every single, no matter what the aspect ratio is like it's at, like all of the aspect ratios can change. Like the amount of black space that you see or not see is like the aspect ratio.
But there's so what it is
there's different numbers.
What I was saying is that when there is that black and the black, it is theatrical for the most part.
And I thought that's what I thought you meant. Yep. I thought you meant that if it's black on top, black on the bottom, regardless of the amount of black, it's just called theatrical. Even if it's like super cut like this compared to like super cut like that. I'm really describing it with my hands. And then I thought you meant that there was the only other option was full screen, and that there was only two different aspect ratios, one called theatrical and one called one called full screen.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what you meant, and I'm still pretty sure that is what you meant.
When there's the black and the black,
yes.
It is theatrical for the most part, because it's using the aspect ratio
that it was shown in theaters. Right. Correct. But also,
that's why it's theatrical.
But also, a movie like Lighthouse, which is actually filmed 4:3 in the full screen, can also be called theatrical in that term of definition.
Yes.
Because it's not formatted at all. It's just...
That's how it's filmed.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's what was bothering me, is that you can't just say when it's in widescreen that it's theatrical, because the Lighthouse with Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, that is also like theatrically how it was filmed.
Yes.
But that I just was so angry because it was such a broad stroke, and you were only saying that because you saw DVDs when you were a kid.
No, all I was
it was just a throwaway comment that you didn't want to explain.
Yes.
Ultimately.
And you just wanted more out of it.
Yeah, I just wanted
for no reason.
Because it was wrong, in my opinion.
But it wasn't.
It is wrong.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No.
Because that option hasn't been available.
That's like me walking up to a jacuzzi and going, "That's a hot tub," and then you saying, "You're wrong."
No, it's more
because every single time that there is
this
the black,
this is a better comparison. It's like you talking to it's like you pointing at, let's say there's a shelf of whiskeys. There's bourbon, there's rye, there's scotch, all of it, right? That you going like pointing at all of them and they're just going like, look at that's whiskey. You're like, yeah, that is right, but like sometimes you gotta be a little bit more specific, you know? That's what it's more like.
I'll think of a different example because that's still
not correct.
Completely. Not correct. Yeah.
It's not a perfect analogy.
Yeah, because what I'm saying, it is the hot tub thing, because it is what I am saying is correct.
But if you pointed at Lighthouse and you said that's theatrical, that's also correct. But that's not how you meant it.
Yes, it is. That's theatrical view.
Every view of movies is basically theatrical view nowadays.
Exactly.
Right. So, It's such a like a nothing. Like yeah, it's more. It's actually the example you said before. Yeah, milk comes for cows. Like yeah, where else would it come from? It's more like that.
There wasn't a need for the
Comment.
No, your argument.
No, there's no need for the comment because every film is theatrical nowadays.
It's yes.
Now
but here's the thing, right?
Some films aren't nowadays. Sometimes they do cut it off.
When you're drunk, you have an observation that's like, oh, ding.
And my observation was, oh, ding, he's wrong. That was my observation.
No.
Yeah.
Because what I meant by that was
I was right in the beginning because I told you we're not going to get to a healthy place at the end of this conversation.
Because here's what you're not like understanding. So I go, I like that it's, theatrical view. And you go, what do you mean by that? I was like, I just like that, it's got the black on the bottom, black on the top. It's always theatrical view. What I was meaning by that was I just like that that's not an option.
Yeah.
Like that's just how they give it.
Yes, then that's correct. Yeah.
In movies. Mm-hmm. And why I was saying it was kind of like I don't know how to explain this to you. When you come about a new observation, like you like open up, say Spotted Cow was twist off forever. And you finally, stop twisting. I like that it became a pop off top. But it's been pop off top for, 20 years.
Say it, I think you're close with the point. Say it with like a high life because like obviously
yes,
that makes better to like twist off.
Yeah.
This is the thing though. The fact that high life has been twist off for 20 years.
Are you going to make an argument out of this too?
I'm saying
no.
That's hold on. That's a better argument though because if you just pop a high life and you're like, God damn, I love that these are twists. Somebody might be like, they've been twists for 20 years, man.
Yes.
Like that's the point of the comment because it's been like that forever at this point. That's a better comparison.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like
where you're like yes,
when you're drunk,
yes,
when you're drunk or high, like things like that just become
noticed. You're right. But you would have been right if you said that 10 years ago. You would have been right if you said that 15
exactly.
years. I mean, it's just like such a
okay.
Yeah,
next time that you make an observation,
that's what like,
and it's not even like it's like saying because when I'm drunk or high, I just say things out loud.
Yeah, yeah, and I also attack things you say out loud.
I can't wait to microdose you and then start screaming nightmare, nightmare, nightmare.
That is funny that there was less repercussions from that where Ari Shaffir just drugged Bert Kreischer. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's crazy that there was like they wanted to cancel Ari Shaffir for like microdosing Bert Kreischer, but like Hitler was gassing Jews.
Do people forget? In Nazi Germany, World War II,
he was giving them drugs
against their will.
Against their will, and
they knew they were going to take them.
Yeah,
they were just trying to have a good time,
and not because they were friends.
Do people forget that?
Do you guys forget? It's like it's 9/12 all over again. Mm-hmm. You guys instantly forgot right after.
It's like they forget that like we came to America and gave all the Native Americans disease.
Yes.
Do people forget that?
Do you guys forget about that? SARS? That never happened.
So what? We can't drug random people nowadays?
That's my friend.
I'm just trying to have a good time.
They're friends. They hated them because of their race. Mm-hmm. That's a person I like. Mm-hmm. Everything about them.
Yeah, they actually died.
Yes.
Bert Kreischer almost died.
Yeah.
Different.
And Bert Kreischer, people aren't going to bring this up enough. He's not Jewish.
What does that have to do with that?
Hitler did it because they were Jewish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Like, Ari Shaffir likes everything about Bert.
It was a nice, genuine laugh. I didn't know what you were trying to get at.
What I was saying was that they did things because they hated the other person. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
We can get off of this stupid argument.
I'm going to have to start a movement on Twitter, hopefully.
About what?
Canceled Hitler 2021. Hashtag. Hashtag cancel Hitler.
I mean, we might be some of the first people to say we've been against Hitler since day one.
I can. there's not a time that I remember. Maybe 5-year-old James was a little bit different because I can't remember that far back. But like, I can't remember a time I've ever supported Hitler.
You know what's annoying is on his birthday, April 20th, people just fucking smoke weed for him. 420 all day.
Yeah.
It's like,
you know what I do?
Huh?
I
repent.
Yeah.
I get upset.
Yes.
I don't want to say this, but like they're burning gas for fucking 420.
I was going to say I give life to Jewish people,
and people are out there burning gas for fucking. That's Hitler's birthday.
That's Hitler's birthday. Yeah,
that's not fucking cool.
It's not cool.
How come nobody's ever brought that up?
I don't know.
It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
I guess. How did that day become the day?
Who do we cancel after Hitler though?
Oh, that's Stalin.
You think it's Stalin?
Yeah.
Is there a worse person than them?
I don't know. Maybe Whitney Cummings.
It goes Adolf Hitler, Stalin, and Whitney Cummings.
And that's a close second and third.
Yes.
Depending on what day you catch me on.
Yeah. Definitely not 420. We really, really hate Hitler that day.
God, I fucking hate her. Yeah. But
if she wanted to be friends.
If she wanted to be friends, we would be her friend.
If it would benefit our career.
Completely.
Yes.
I'd sell out on everything for Whitney Cummings.
For sure.
In a heartbeat. And we've always said that.
Yeah.
We've always said that. Like if she was doing like two broke guys, that could be us.
That'd be us, yeah.
That could be us.
Well, it's just, I don't know. This cancel culture really needs to take a step forward. Start canceling the real people. Mm-hmm. Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yep.
Fucking
Hitler. Whitney.
BTK killer.
Yeah. Son of Sam.
Yeah.
I can knock out. You want me to just knock out the Coad killer?
Yeah.
Charles Manson. Mm-hmm. I got you at serial killers. I saw Mindhunter.
Yes.
What do we have?
Who's that one guy that?
Which one?
Got jerked off by the dude and then ended up dating his daughter and was fucking the mom at the same time.
Oh, that I don't know his name, but it's the documentary on Netflix.
That one made you cry of laughter, right?
I mean, okay. The documentary we're talking about is fucking something stranger, like fuck. What is it called?
I don't remember.
It was a huge documentary on Netflix.
Yeah. And you made me watch it.
It's incredible.
And then immediately you asked me.
And essentially, this sociopath manipulates the mother, the father, the whole family, so he could like sexually, like, or have sex with like the young girl in there. And the way he did it was he made advances on the mom.
Yeah. And
the mom cheated on the husband.
Yes.
Then he made advances on the dad. And the dad was like, all right, fuck it, I'll jerk you off. And I'm not exaggerating.
That's when he made the worst decision in his marriage.
So what is great about the moment is that throughout the whole documentary, it's about 1:15.
Yes.
The dad is in the documentary the whole time. Mm-hmm. He's talking about how he allowed this man to sleep with his like 10-year-old daughter all the time. Like within her room, and he would like read her stories till like 3 a.m. and he was he just like allowed this man to live in his home and do all this crazy shit to his daughter.
Yeah.
He let her take his daughter on like RV rides across America and nobody else.
Yes.
But the one thing that
he regrets the most
is jerking this guy off.
Giving that man a handjob. Who cares about him?
It's the only time he cries in it. And when he starts crying is also when I start crying because I'm crying of laughter.
Yeah, because that guy's just jerking off. Oh, man.
He can barely even say it. This is basically a man who is in his 70s.
Yes.
So he grew up during the Hitler time when he was rocking with Hitler like everybody else, I guess.
Not even trying to cancel him.
Yeah. So he is a guy who's... he saw Stalin kill his own people. Yeah.
And he just let him run free.
He's
without making a single Twitter post about him. Or a tweet longer. Nothing. Not even a fucking... He didn't even make a YouTube video about him. Like, nothing. Like saying hi.
Nothing.
Just period. Hi. Period. Nothing. Like, he could have made a whole video about Stalin.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Stopped him in his tracks.
He could have. But instead he jerked this guy off.
Instead he gave this man a hand job and let him have his way with his entire family.
So this guy is, it's clear that he's just so uncomfortable with the fact that he's probably a gay man.
Yeah.
And it's just like, to this day, I mean, if not gay, probably at least bi.
Yeah.
Just not completely straight.
Yeah.
But you gotta realize that these people back in the day, I've said this to you before, my take is that homophobia, racism, it takes a generation to get over it a little bit.
Yeah.
And racism isn't completely dead, obviously.
Yeah.
But like when you're coming from, you're ending segregation, it's not like a flip of a switch.
Yeah.
People are still hate black people for
there's
like
the
horrible
trickle
reasons.
down, right?
Right.
Like
So then the next generation hates it less.
It's like if you like say you have like think of it like a gutter standpoint, like all the water and leaves are flowing through, and then you put one of those guards through, and then stops most of the leaves, but then some of the leaves come through, and that still goes down and down and down.
But then it trickles into another leak.
Yes.
Which is gay people, right? Then that generation starts to hate gay people.
Yes.
And then they're like, no, there's no fucking way. And then you have a bunch of...
Then they do ecstasy. They start doing butt stuff.
You get a bunch of kids, right? Yeah. And then you get to our generation. We start rocking with gay people.
Yep.
But like you said the other day, you hate trans people. No, it's a joke. It's a joke. But now...
You were going on anti-Semitic rants, which I mean, I guess.
But now this generation is now dealing with like integrating trans people into it. So our generation is not 100% good with it yet.
No,
I think on the surface they like to pretend, and you try your best
for sure.
But it's not going to be until like our generation starts having kids where like trans people are just like as integrated the way gay people are.
For sure.
And then the next one's going to be like robots.
Yeah.
Or it's going to go back to black people. I don't know.
It'll
probably circle back.
We probably have like one more rotation of like the next generation for some reason just getting mad at maybe a different colored person.
So
like, maybe they might get like mad at Mexican people.
I'm not trying to...
At least the United States.
I'm not trying to defend hate, but it takes a little bit.
Yeah.
It takes a couple generations for it all to trickle out.
Beliefs, there's like we had like this whole thing, like there's beliefs, and then above beliefs there's morals or whatever, like where like that's what you are, and then your beliefs can be taught to you. You know what I mean? By somebody. So like that's the issue, is that like if you just have like a racist like family, it's just going to trickle, like they're going to teach you that same hatred.
This reminds me, yesterday, the book The Outsiders was brought up. Do you remember The Outsiders?
I brought it up.
No. It was literally with a different group of people.
I brought it up though the other day.
Well, good for you.
Welcome.
So like the story, Johnny Boy, Stay Golden Pony Boy. Is it Johnny Boy? Stay Golden Pony Boy,
Pony
right?
Boy.
You know it. The movie has
There's Johnny in it though.
The movie has Tom Cruise. It's got Patrick Swayze.
So many people in it.
It's got fucking Rob Lowe. It's like literally as they're about to blow. It's got Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid, shit like that. So people love the story. It's a great movie. It's a great book. I read the book too. I read it in 8th grade, right? It was assigned by a different teacher. So I'm reading it. I'm loving the book. And if you've read the book, it's a little bit like a emotional. There's a lot of emotions coming from the boys in the book, right? And you don't really think about it as you're reading it. But my teacher, who's like a guy, was like, they talk a little fruity. Like he told me this, right? I'm 14.
Yeah.
So he told me, he was like, that book, I just never really, they talk a little bit too fruity for me. He's like, you can tell it was written by a woman. Like it's not written by a guy at all. And for a long time in my life, I was like, yeah, he's got a fucking point. Not until recently did I like realize that it's a real toxic thing to tell.
Yeah.
Like to tell somebody. So I was telling that story, and then the girl hanging out with us, she was like, that's a fucked up thing to tell a kid.
Yeah.
So for a long time, like this is what happened. What I'm saying with like where it takes a while for this shit to like weed out. That could have just been spread onto me, where I thought like guys dealing with their emotions was really fucking fruity. The rest of my life, it takes a little bit, but I didn't even realize. I was like, yeah, I guess this might be crazy. He has a little bit of a point. The way the guys talk in the book aren't how guys talk, but his issues with it probably aren't the best. Best way. Still a great story. Still a great book.
Yeah, I had the same issue in like 3rd grade. My teacher was like, I was reading Stonewolf, and he was like, yeah, you can just tell that it's written by a Polynesian person because it's stupid. So my whole life I just thought that like Polynesian people just talked weird.
Yeah, luckily you don't run into them. I run into fucking stupid ass women every day.
True. Yeah, I mean I did actually have a similar issue in 3rd grade. At one point I was on the playground throwing a football, and a teacher came up to me and they're like, you throw a really good spiral, you could be a quarterback one day. So that fucking stuck with me until I was in 7th grade, and my coach goes, hey, you're too large to play quarterback,
but you are big enough to beat women. Is that what you're gonna talk about?
But if you hear any dude talking fruity,
we can beat his fucking ass.
Beat his ass.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe pull out a switchblade on him, just like they do in The Outsiders.
But you don't read that fruity shit, and you get dapped up. Very cool, man.
Yeah, they do. It is. Teachers have a lot of weight on their shoulders.
I have another story about a teacher influencing me like the wrong way, and you can say your shit first, and I can go back to like I have just like this crazy story that a teacher told me this.
Well, I was going to make up like
I was just
going to talk about like how it like imagine being the teacher to like Adolf Hitler.
And not canceling him then.
Not canceling him when he was in 3rd fucking grade, because I would have known right away that 3rd grader was going to grow up and just spread hate speech throughout all of Germany and Eastern Europe.
I would have pulled to it longer. I would have got a YouTube video and commented I
would have set up our camera, sat on this couch, stood right in front of you guys, and
I
told you guys.
Student in my class.
I would have spoke my truth about Adolf Hitler
as a child.
When
I was in like 3rd, I definitely told you this before. When I was 13 or 14, so I was in 8th grade.
Yes.
We were the group of people that I hung out with were generally we were the oldest at this point, so we're the 8th graders, the oldest in the school, and we're generally like the more popular kids.
For sure.
And when you're like a more popular kid, you have like really good relationships with the teachers. Like they're pretty cool with you. So this teacher who was relatively new, like he had subbed before in his years, but it's probably his like 3rd or 4th year as a permanent teacher. So I don't even think that he really understood the influence that he has in us. He's the reason why I watched Seven for the first time with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. Great movie.
Yep.
But hardcore conservative, right? So we like the year prior, we just started learning about global warming and how we watched the film that Al Gore like was basically saying by the year like 2012, Florida was going to be completely underwater. Little off on his take, but generally the premise was right. Like the climate is warming up, right? Climate change is obvious. It's real. Like there's so many scientists. So
I don't believe in it, but continue.
Right, I know, obviously.
Yes.
So I learned that in a science class, and then I would go to my English teacher, this guy, and we would tell him about it, and he was like, no. He would just be like, come on, you really believe that shit? And he would tell us, and he was like, okay, I'm not really supposed to tell you guys, but you guys are smart enough. I'm not supposed to tell you my political takes, but the guy who like came up with like global warming, he can't find anything. No papers on it. That's all, just lost all the information. Climate's going up and down. And he just like made my whole group of friends think global warming's fake. And I just like for the next
if global warming's fake, tell me how by the age of 24 I'm hotter than ever.
Can we clip that? Can we clip that?
Yeah.
Can we just add that on every intro?
Yeah. That is a good clip.
So for like the next 3 years, I think I would just like fight people who believed in global warming. I might be a little bit crazy.
That could be my next caption to my Instagram photo.
This global warming's fake. How am I as hot as ever?
How at the age of 24 I'm hotter than ever.
But yeah, that guy just told me global warming was fake. He still probably believes that till now.
Which one of your teachers told you that Koreans don't exist?
That one was my own. That one came from my heart.
That was just a genuine belief. Between you and Grandpa Joe.
I used to tell people that at like parties, and I'd be like, "Come on, just make up my own conspiracy theories." How many Asian people do you know? And they'd be like, "I don't know, maybe like 1 or 2." And I was like, "You really think that there's that many different Asians? You've got Korean, Filipino, you have Chinese, Japanese. Korea's not a real place. You really think that North and South Korea exist? That shit's not real." And you'd either get like kids going like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Or some being like, "Yeah,
True.
Yeah.
True. You got a point there, buddy. Yeah.
And I usually say to like a fraternity place, I fucking hated frats.
Dude, I got into like, I ran into
I'm so
a
glad
person
we never
online
did
that there was a one of those one-uppers, right? And like,
You're just describing your life.
pretty much. But like this guy, like he was very annoying. He is a guy that would get way too mad about stolen valor. Just put it that way.
Wait, did you watch that TikTok where that guy was claimed to be a stolen valor, but he was actually a veteran?
No.
We're both on the same page that we would like to be stolen valors.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'd
cool.
like to steal more valor.
Correct.
Is what you're trying to get at.
Yes.
Yes. Well, this guy, he just like somebody, I forgot what somebody said, but they pretty much were like talking about like, I never went to college, or like frats like how they are in movies. And I was like, I mean, like they have like cool, crazy parties sometimes, but no,
They're way lamer.
they're way lamer. I was like, frat parties have a lot of rules.
A significant amount of rules.
And this guy, he goes, "You just haven't gone to the right frats." And I was like, I don't think that it matters much.
TikTok fucking makes fun of frat life like crazy. And it's like the same shit at every.
I'm sure it's fine, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, I'm sure fun, but like it's not like,
It's just a group of
if
guys
you've
who
seen
think they're better
Animal
than you.
House,
It's not like that.
it's not like Animal House.
No.
Well, I mean, it's
Well, that's actually the guy. So the Animal House frat is about like the deconstruction of, because like they're crushing
Yes.
the other, like the shitty frats.
you got to watch that movie that
Animal House. Oh, the making of Animal House.
Yes.
Right.
Well,
With
like
Joel
I
McHale.
told you, the guy, like his original thing that got him back into National Lampoon, because he started it.
Yeah.
Took a break, came back, and like wrote this whole story. Like he literally wrote a whole book or whatever that was, or a screenplay that was like supposed to be this comedy. Gave it to his partner that he started National Lampoon with. He was like, read it through. The guy's like his like partner was a smarter guy, but like he was like, the other guy was like just funny. He had it, you know what I mean?
Okay.
He gave him like this whole screenplay. He read through it all, and he was like, "It's garbage, right?" And he picked it up and threw away the whole screenplay. And his partner goes, "It's good to have you back, buddy." But to like get back into it, because he was not picking it up right away after being gone for so long, he just wrote like this whole like high school yearbook, because he went through so many high school yearbooks, and there are these stereotypes all throughout. Like, like there's the jocks, there's the, preppy girls, the preppy guys, the skaters,
And he discovered that by just going through all these yearbooks
and just realizing that like
from high schools across America.
yeah, realizing it's not
not that different.
So then he just made a parody onto it.
Yeah.
Because like, and then to take it a step further, you then have like Animal House.
Right, you have those characters
college.
breaking down like the social norms at colleges, and although that movie is not like a 1-to-1, like because they try to rape girls in that movie,
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
which is it's a little different.
Somebody
it doesn't hold
cancel
up.
Animal House.
But a lot of the same shit still applies
Yeah.
with like the way frats are kind of just like douchey, like they think that they're better than you. They have that like when you try to get into a fraternity and like who do you know here?
Yeah.
That's like not a joke.
Yeah.
And the guy's asking the question.
You've been to more frat parties than I have to.
I know, but it's always the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, nah, man, like you can't get in. Not enough chicks. Or like it's just like it's this weird group of guys who like do like the hazing shit is fucking weird. Sticking like cocks up each other's asses to like get into the fraternity. And you're not allowed to tell anybody because you can't haze anymore, but they all still do. And then like sometimes it's like quasi racist. Where you remember they have like racism chants on the bus, like there'll never be an ACU or some shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There was that viral video of like this fraternity just screaming, "There will never be a N-word in this in their frat." Like that's not all fraternities,
really?
But that's like what it is at the core. Them doing crazy shit to people trying to get into the frat. When they're in the frat, they think they're better than.
We were watching Neighbors. That's what it was.
Neighbors is like even a better fucking version of frats.
Yeah,
because they're like that's a parody of what a frat is. It's like a funny parody.
Yeah,
actual frats are fucking way shittier.
Yeah,
they're way shittier.
Yeah, I mean you know what it is.
You can throw those parties that they have without
like
having a frat.
It's what is it? There's like Revenge of the Nerds. Have you ever seen that movie? No. It's like these two different frats where there's like, you know, the Animal House frat and then there's like the nerd frat where it's like they have the nerd frat is actually like very on the money. Like they have rules, they have GPAs to like keep up, stuff like that. And like,
you know, the thing is though, ultimately the nerd frats are the ones you want to be in because later in life that's like where they help you. That's the reason why fraternities were designed.
Yes, was
to like have connections.
It's networking.
It's networking.
Yeah,
but that shit's fucking lame.
But like these like movies do make you think like, oh, like I'm going to go there and I'm going to be at a Robert De Niro party.
I know, right? That's what you think. You think it's gonna be like Animal House partying. It's gonna be like Neighbors partying, but it's just like you not be able to get into parties. There's plenty of rules. You can't break the rules or you're kicked out.
Well, if you're in the frat, you get into the party.
Right? Yeah, you can. Right.
But your friends aren't going.
But you have to like fucking get your ass beat to get in. Like your bare butt and ball sack. You gotta get smacked with the paddle to get in. Yeah. And you gotta suck their cocks. You get tarred and feathered. Yeah. And then you're in. Yeah. So just do that. And then also you're gonna be hammered the whole time when you don't know how to drink.
Yeah. Cancel fraternities.
Cancel fraternities because I fucking hate those kids.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't like that. This is why really where it comes from. All that stuff is real. But for me, why I have such a personal hatred is because I go to a frat thinking it's going to be party the way you imagine it. Yeah. And then you party like that.
And you end up being the most drunk there.
And then
people
start tweeting about you. Get your fucking friends on like a leash. Fucking Tyler Voss, like they're like saying like your fucking friends are crazy. How many people does he have at this party? And it's just me. Like,
it's just you. It's just me being in a lot of places at a lot of different times.
Often. And it's like many different people being like, this guy's a fucking asshole. Maybe I was. I had the fucking president of the fraternity like want to kick me out. Yeah. Because I made a joke saying I was gonna go through the front door and they couldn't go through the front door. The parties were gonna get shut down. And I was like, hey, I know we can't go through the front door, but we're going through. And he was like, you're going to have to leave. I was like, come on, man, I'm joking. And then, like, his friends had to pull him off because he was so angry.
I hate that.
I know, I hate it. That's why I hate the fraternities.
No, that makes me cringe.
That happened?
That, like,
his friends were like, no, man, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And I'm, like, doing nothing.
I mean, like, if I'm that angry, like, nobody's holding me back.
He's a little guy. I don't even remember what he looks like.
Yeah, me neither.
He was very non-intimidating. I did whatever I wanted in that frat and just had them all be passively like aggressive.
But I don't like that though. I just like the friends that hold me back. That whole like thing is just like that's so fucking cringe.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Because like, I mean like I've had like people go like, oh, no, just like people don't hold me back. No.
Also, it doesn't really help that, at least for the frat that I went to, their like hierarchy is the sophomores are elected as president, but the seniors and the juniors don't listen to anything the president says. So the president has to make sure that frats all okay, but none of the...
Is that at every frat, though?
At least the one that I went to.
Yeah.
So that's why at least Tyler was like, I don't understand what... Like, I'll never listen to the frat president, because he was the president for one of his. But he was like, no, fuck it. Why would I ever do that? It's like a dumb system. He also regrets the frat that he was in because he doesn't really have like...
We're putting a lot of words in this guy's mouth. I mean,
sorry. he likes the friends that he made, but like the idea of frats is to like make connections. Like if he was like, the only regret that I had really was that I didn't get to one where like it had like deeper connections.
Like the Phoenix.
He doesn't like the Phoenix Club in like Social Network.
Is that why he hates me? It's because he didn't make it into the Phoenix?
I fucking love that movie.
I'm sorry.
I forgot my product. The cleaners along with my hoodie. My fuck you flip flops.
Yeah.
You pretentious douchebag.
Yep.
He loved his frat experience.
Yeah.
I did not love his frat experience.
Yeah. He definitely enjoyed it. I mean, it's kind of the same thing as me. Like I love football and like the friends I made through football, but dude, I'm never having my kids play football.
I will. Fuck it. Because if they played it like me, they should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, if they play like you, my kids will be competitive.
Yeah.
Strong.
Are we done with this? You want to cut it?
Built like bull. We didn't even get to talk about this weekend yet.
I know. I'm glad.
Why?
What do we need to talk about? We hit the points.
Yeah, I guess we hit the points.
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
If you guys can take anything from this,
be uninteresting.
Make sure that you cancel fucking Hitler.
Cancel Hitler.